In Sandro Monetti. He is a royal expert and trustee of the Royal Society of St George, which calls itself England's premier patriotic society. And who better to talk about all of this than yourself? Welcome. So the first British monarch to celebrate 70 years on the throne. And in that time, of course, Queen Elizabeth has worked with 14 British prime ministers and witnessed history in the making. What have been the highlights of her time on the throne, do you think?
It's been a momentous reign. From all of it, I'd probably pick out three as the most significant events, starting with her coronation in 1953, the first one ever to be televised. And what a turnout. 3 million people lined the route to welcome their new queen. Then, significantly, in 1965, she made a royal visit to Berlin. It was 20 years since the end of World War II, and that visit really symbolized the settling of relationship, more of a friendship between the nations, just really showing what a great stateswoman she was there. And who can forget 1997, after the death of Princess Diana. And in the days and weeks that follows, there was real debate whether the royal family would even continue, where the Queen's stoic, stiff upper lip reaction to the loss of the Queen of Hearts herself, Diana, was seen as not emotional enough by some of her subjects. But now, 25 years on, as she celebrates 70 years on the throne, she's as much loved as she's ever been.
Yeah, and you mentioned that because Queen Elizabeth nearly overshadowed her own celebration with her announcement that Prince Charles's wife would one day be referred to as Queen Consort, news that was greeted with mixed reaction. How risky is an announcement like that, given Camilla's controversial history with the late Princess Diana?
I think she's done a huge favour to Prince Charles and to Camilla, because if King Charles III had decided to anoint Camilla as queen, there might have been a lot of unhappiness among the subjects. But the fact that the Queen says it's okay and even used her Jubilee announcement to make that press release really has really laid a path for the future stability of the monarchy.
And Queen Elizabeth marked her Platinum Jubilee by noting the extraordinary progress she's witnessed in her 70 years on the throne and her confidence in the future. And for the first time, we are now seeing her prepare a path for Prince Charles with that announcement about Camilla. Is there a sense she's slowing down and stepping back a little here?
When we look at these pictures, it's a reflective time, but we see the 95-year-old Queen looking as frail as she has in some time, and we think that even she, as magnificent as she is, cannot go on forever. And yes, there's been an announcement of lots of events coming up in the Jubilee year, but no announcement of which of these events the Queen will actually attend herself. Prince Charles will have a lot more public role. He'll be taking the place of the Queen. One thing the Queen could do is appoint him regent, whereby she would not step down, but he would take on all the duties of the monarch. That hasn't happened. I don't think it will happen. But as we go through this Jubilee year, we'll be seeing a lot of Charles, a lot of William, and the message will be one of celebration of 70 years on the throne, but also preparing the public. And she described herself in her letter to them as her loyal servant, preparing the public for the future of the monarchy.
And what do you think it is about Queen Elizabeth that has allowed her to remain so relevant over 70 years, except, of course, as you mentioned, that time, the passing of Princess Diana? It was a very delicate moment. It made it very difficult for the monarchy at that time, but she recovered. So why is it that she has been able to remain so relevant?
Consistency, strength, and smarts. Leadership for so long brings you a great deal of experience. For the most part, with occasional missteps, yes, and I would accept I was one of those who thought she was out of touch over the Diana situation, but the rest of the time, you know, she acts swiftly and decisively. She makes clear decisions. You only have to look at the way recently she's dealt with the problems with Prince Harry and Prince Andrew, just cutting them out quite firmly and say, okay, you know, yeah. And she has always put the people first and the crown first. It's all about the throne. It's a Game of Thrones, and she's won it and continues to win it.
Yeah, and she did say that right from the start, didn't she? Sandro Monetti, always a pleasure to chat with you. Many thanks.
God save the Queen.
So out of